I think we're on. Go the time. Welcome back to my kitchen, everyone. Today, as you have already read the title of this video, we're going to be making apple pies. The reason why, my mom bought me a lot of apples and I need to use them before they go bad. So I'm going to be making apple pies so that way, I don't know, we get a really tasty treat out of them. I am actually going to be going off of a recipe from a YouTuber called Rosanna Pansino. I have the link below to that video if you would like to watch. I'm not going to be using raspberries in her video, but I'm going to be using apples instead. I'm going to be tweaking some of the ingredients as well, just because I'm poor and I don't have a lot of money. But essentially, I'm going to be doubling the recipe because I'm hoping to be able to fill these kind of 12 kind of muffin kind of like trays. I'm hoping to be able to fill them with 12 pies. I don't know why 12, I could probably just give them away, which would be kind of nice, but that is the goal. So let's start. First things first, you need 2.5 cups times 2 of flour, so 5 cups of flour. So my measuring cup has this really awesome 2.5 right here. So that's gonna be great, so I should see 2 of these. And I have 2 different types of flour. So we'll just see how it goes. That's all the flour. And apparently you're supposed to be mixing in all the dry ingredients first. So the next thing you need is sugar. I didn't have any sugar in the house, so I had to like buy a whole pack of sugar, which kind of sucks, but I guess I'll try and find other ways to use it. So it says 2 tablespoons of sugar, that means 4. This is my tablespoon. It's quite large, but it's the only thing I have. So, you know what, there's probably a little bit less than 4 in there, but I don't think it's gonna be a big problem because I think the sugar just does it to kind of make it taste nice. Okay. 1 tablespoon of salt. So I have this like really crazy like sea salt stuff because I don't have granulated, like just normal table salt. So we'll see. The last thing is vanilla, the vanilla bean, but I decided not to buy vanilla bean because I'm poor. So I actually bought vanilla extract instead. So I'm going to be using this in place of the vanilla bean. So I'm just going to mix all of these dry ingredients up first. Alright, that's mixed enough. Next thing we need to mix in the shortening and butter. So just be careful, the recipe asks for salted butter, so make sure you get salted butter. So salted butter, we need how much? 0.5 cups, so 1 cup. And just so that it makes it a little bit easier to work with, I am going to, you know what, you guys can go with for now. I am going to cube this up into smaller cubes. So that way I can use it more easily. Butter is cubes. Next thing we need is 1 cup of shortening. Now shortening is really soft, so I'm wondering if I even need to cube this up, but because I've already cubed up the butter, I feel like it's only fair that we also cube up the shortening. That is pretty much all things in. The last thing I need to add is this vanilla extract. And because this is a substitute for a relatively dry ingredient, I have no idea exactly how much I'm supposed to add in, but there you go. And now you get to use your hands. So mix this up into a batter with your hands until there's no crumbly bits anymore. Everything is kind of like, you know, uniformly looks like a pie crust. Alright, this is where it gets really dirty and gross. I'm gonna try and see if I can save any of this other dough. You know what? Let's not be greedy. We have more than enough. So I am going to quickly wash my hands. Sorry friends, my camera decided to just stop recording. So what I've done is I put the dough in the casserole dish. It's in the refrigerator. You're supposed to kind of put it in there for 2 hours, let it completely cool and chill into the center. I'm moving on to the next step, which is apples. So I have 5 apples. I actually have more apples in the fridge, but I don't know if I need this many right now. The goal is to fill them up here and then cook them and then make the actual filling before I need it. The reason why is because I'm not a big fan of having like crunchy bits of apple. I don't know about you guys, not a big fan. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of take off the skin, cube them up, dump them in there, and then we're gonna move over to the stove and and then we're going to cook it with cinnamon. I have a couple packages of pectin, which will make it kind of thicken, and then some lemon juice to kind of just balance out the sweetness of the apples. So let's quickly take the skin off. One thing that's really great about making apple pie is that even if the apples are a little bit kind of like tender in some places or bruised, it doesn't really honestly matter because you're just going to be cooking it all anyways. So it's all going to be soft and mushy. Great way to like, look on the bright side of things. So I'm going to start cubing these up, and I actually didn't mention before that another reason why I was pre-cooking this is because these 4 bigger apples are, I believe, ambrosia. They didn't have a sticker on it, so I don't know, but they taste like ambrosia. And the small one here is a pink lady, and for those of you who are apple connoisseurs, these are all crispy apples, very crispy apples. So they don't normally go very well with apple pies. Normally you would use like a Spartan or a Macintosh because they kind of like mush up really easily. Those are the type of apples that you would normally use for applesauce, I think. So for these ones here, I'm going to cook them so then that way, even if the cooking process on the stove doesn't kind of mush them up or soften them up, the baking definitely will. You know what? Let me turn you off and then I'll turn you back on when I'm done all the chopping of the apples and stuff. Okay? The apples have been cubed. So I'm gonna go over to the stove now and we're gonna continue on with this little project. The angle has changed and the lighting has changed because I'm too lazy to move the lighting. So the point of all these kind of ingredients is you're hoping that the apples taste pretty good. And apples actually have a lot of sugar in them already. So that's why you're gonna be using lemon juice to kind of like taper the sugar away, kind of just balance it. Cinnamon to taste, and then the pectin to just kind of get it a little bit more thick, so that way it's more kind of like that kind of apple pie filling itself. You don't have to add sugar. I'm not going to, just because there's sugar in the actual pie crust itself. So I'm assuming that we won't need to add any here because then that's just way too sweet. It's already starting, so I'm going to start working on this, and then I'm going to figure out kind of once it tastes good, I'm gonna like turn off the heat and then put it in the fridge and then let it cool off before we kind of put the two things together and make an apple pie. So let's go do this right now. I still have this kind of like weird thing where every single time I'm making this, I get weirded out because I'm cooking fruit. It's just kind of not something that you normally do, but just thought I'd share. It's kind of funny because right now they kind of look like hash browns, but they taste like heaven. Pectin comes in just like one package, so I'm just going to use whatever and then I guess I'll just huck the rest. I'm not planning to do anything else with it. That's unfortunate. I was hoping that it was going to come in like separate packages. You win some, you lose some. Alright, so the filling is done and I've just left it off of the heat and I'm just going to let it cool off. I'm going to put it in the fridge and then we're going to put things together. But that's not going to happen for me today. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow morning. But that's fine for you guys because that's just a video cut for you guys. So, and we're back. Sorry, it's a completely different camera angle, but this is another day. So I've been cutting these kind of like bottoms of the pies out with this here. So it kind of works out a little bit. It's a little bit larger and you have to kind of just squeeze it in. And it does crack a little bit, but I'm hoping that actually by squeezing it in and then putting it in the fridge, kind of let it cool off, that it'll be fine. I'm thinking that I might just make 10. We'll see. I don't know if I have enough dough left over. I'm just gonna make 10 for now, and I'm gonna start filling them, and then we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna put this back on here. I'm gonna finish one more, and then I am going to start making the tops, and we're gonna start filling it. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm actually using 2 pieces of parchment paper. I'm putting one on the bottom and then putting one on top and having the dough slide in between so now I can flatten it much more easily. So like, what I have here essentially is like this, right? You just peel it off. Look, like that. Super easy. Okay, I'm gonna move you so then that way you can see me kind of putting in the filling. And then after that, we're gonna pop that back into the fridge and then we're gonna cut more of the tops of the pies, but it's actually gonna be a lot thinner than the bottom because I don't need the tops to be as thick as the bottoms because the bottoms need to, keep all the stuff together. So I'm gonna move you. Something that I've kind of like noticed while making these before is that don't fill them up too much because like with a big pie, it's fine, right? Because there's so much like volume and surface area. But with these ones here, like there's nowhere really for them to go. So they'll just kind of like start pooling out, and like the sugar will start kind of like browning, caramelizing on the actual pan. So like if you don't want something super messy, then I would suggest like maybe just making it like level or even a little bit less here. I have a lot more filling left, but that's okay. I'm just gonna put these in the fridge now, and I'm gonna cut up the tops, and then we'll kind of piece them all together. So they kind of look like this. As you can see, I've cut some holes in the top for some ventilation, and I just used a fork to kind of give just that kind of like those dimples around. Doesn't look the best, but I'm gonna finish this off, and I'm gonna pop it in the oven, and then we'll see how it turns out. Well, 18 minutes, now it's time to wait and hope for the best. Well, they're not the prettiest of things, but they're pies. So I'm just gonna let them cool off, and then we'll see if they taste good. They're not as brown as I want them to be, but we'll see. Hey again, so it's another day. I have successfully extracted 2 of them because they're all sticky. So notice how I told you guys not to fill it up too much because it might just kind of like burst out. It burst out for all of mine as well. I also realized that in my haste to bake these, I forgot to put in buttermilk. So I think that the consistency of these apple pies is gonna be disgusting. But we're here to see if it tastes good. So here's nothing. It's not bad. It's very shortbready, and the inside is a little bit sour. I think I added a little bit too much lemon. But it could be a lot worse. So, you know, successful, I guess. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this, I think, and I'm gonna pack some of these and give to friends and stuff. I can't finish them on my own. But thank you guys for watching this video. This was actually really fun. I think I make some more with other things and stuff. And this time I'll remember to put in the buttermilk for the actual like crust itself. As always, like, share, subscribe, join the team. I'll see you guys later. Bye.